Welcome back. When you have a function that look like this, then you need to remember these properties. What does it says? It says like this: y is equal to, for example, we have x plus 4 squared there, minus 3, for example. Then this tell us that my lowest value of y is negative 3. This one tell us because of the k there. The vertex is always the k. So if we have the axis of symmetry, which is equal to h according to this property, then we have minus 4. Why? Because if we have this one now, we have x minus negative 4, then we have x plus 4 as we have here. That's why the axis of symmetry is negative 4. Okay? And then the vertex is always the h, which is negative 4, and then the k, which is negative 3. Do we have more? I think that's all right. Oh, sorry. Y-intercept. Y-intercept when x is equal to 0, then we have 4 squared minus 3. That's 16 minus 3. That's 13. So if we're going to graph this now, do you think we can do it? Let's see. I'm going to, if this is my origin, 0 and 0, and the axis of symmetry is negative 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is my axis of symmetry. Let's see if we can do it. We can do a sketch. And our vertex is negative 4 and negative 3. I have negative 4 and negative 3. That is 1, 2, 3. This is our. And we do more. And then 13 there. So it will be like this. 13 there. Yeah. It looks good. If you want, then you can solve your roots also. How to you can use your you can expand this. We have x squared plus 8x plus 16 minus 3 is equal to 0 because it is your zeros, it is your roots. And we have x squared plus 8x minus 13 is equal to 0. That you can do with your either completing the squares or you could have done there also. Take the square root of both sides of the equation. Yeah, by completing the squares or quadratic formula, you can use it. I will show you my, I don't know if that's my graph. We have x squared plus 4 minus 3. Yeah, draw. Oh, it's not that bad. We did it. Okay. And if you want to look for solve for your minimum point, minimum point. Then we have -4 and -3. That's according to the property. And then we have our, I don't know, Gisel, y-intercept. It's 13. Then we got that also. And our roots, if you will solve them, they are not exact. If you will solve them. Another example I want to give you when it tells you that you have no roots. Y is equal to, we have negative x plus 2 or minus 2. We can take minus 2 squared minus 1. This one will tell you, according to the property, then we have our x is equal to h. So our h now is x minus h squared. Then we have x minus 2. So our h is 2, positive 2, because we have positive 2 there. So our h is equal to 2. So our axis of symmetry is 2. X is equal to 2. And then our vertex is always, according to the property, is always hk. And we have our h is 2 and our k is -1. And we have negative here, remember that. So if this is my origin, my 0, 0s, my axis of symmetry is 2. So here is my axis of symmetry. And then I have 2, -1. Here is another point. And then my y-intercept would be when x is 0, then we have negative 2 squared minus 1. Then I have -4 minus 1, and -5. So my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. And then 2 there, 1, 2 here, 1, 2, here it is. It will look like this. Then you don't have any roots y, because it doesn't cross, it doesn't touch the x-axis. You can see here. I will write that equation, function, exit. Then we have negative x minus 2 squared minus 1. As you can see. So the vertex will be Gisel. The maximum point will be 2 and -1. And then our y-intercept will be -5. But if we solve for the root, it will say not found, because you don't have. Then we have what we call no real solution in the quadratic equation. The same is true when you have, for example, you have 3 times 4x plus 1 squared plus 2, for example. This gives you also an idea that your lowest point will be, the y value will be 2. So if I'm going to make it bigger, because it wasn't that big. As you can see, my lowest value for the y, my minimum. The lowest value for the y is 2. And for the x is 0.25. As you can see here also. Negative. Because negative 1 divided by 4 is 0.25. So this one is a very good way for you to see already how your graph look like. So you don't need to solve and solve and solve, and then you have a lot of problems because you will try to get the zeros and then you get nothing because there is no zero, something like that. So you need to remember this, that your lowest point or your highest point is always k. Lowest point when you have a there, which is positive. Highest point or highest, not point, value for your y is your k. Highest if it's a here is negative. I hope you learned something. It's not the best lecture maybe, but I hope I gave you some ideas how to do it. On my next video, then the last one, the general form, then yeah, that is usually what they teach us in school. And then we will find the rest, something like that. But I'm going to do this also, do the video of this. See you around.